Another week back. Thanks everyone for joining us. We got a special episode. It's the halfway point of 2022. If you can believe that already, the end of June. And of course, we got the awesome, the wonderful, the super great Whiskey Charlie crew with us today. Everyone's here, ready to go, and we're going to have a great episode with everyone. So thanks for joining us, Whiskey Charlie, which is, of course, Gimpy, Kev, and Mo. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us on.
So all they do is talk about whiskey and some guy named Charlie is from what I gather.
Exactly.
Which half of it I'm good for, the whiskey part. I'll talk about whiskey all the time. So,
there are still people that are saying that they finally, when the light clicks, that they understand what Whiskey Charlie stands for.
You guys been doing that show for what, about 3 years now?
Yeah, over 2 years now. Yeah. So it's funny. It's like, I even say it. It's like, welcome to Whiskey Charlie, the wargame chat. Wargame chat.
Yeah. I remember talking to you about that way back when, a few years ago. We were trying to come up with a name for it. And you were just like, let's go with the phonetic alphabet. Let's do Whiskey Charlie. Works for me. Yeah. Military.
Is that what it stands for? I didn't know.
Oh my god!
And it's got whiskey in it, so it's totally full of wind. So
Ruff has got some Buffalo Trace just for Herman. Look at that. Yeah.
So it's funny because Ruff has the bourbon from Kentucky, and I have the Scotch from Scotch.
Weird. Go figure.
Matt, how you doing, Matt? Good to see everyone. Dave from Dave's Gaming Cave.
Hi, Dave.
Kyle, how you doing, buddy? Harold is here. Greg.
Good crew.
David Whitehouse, Jeffrey, Tim Zales. How you guys doing? Hope everyone's having a good week. William Bird. You got the old ComSim World.
Oh, geez, no pressure.
No, really. Okay, Kev.
Well, let me just take an hour and a half of the 2 hours and tell you all about it.
Then we want to get into Corson Pocket 2. What do you think, Kev? Thumbs up, thumbs down? I watched your kind of overview. What do you think?
Yeah, I would give it a thumbs up. I mean, I think it's a credible second edition. Does lots of good things. Counters are nice, maps are nice. Plays very much like the old one, but it's just cleaner and simpler. Not simpler, I would say it's cleaner, and it still has Jack's unique verbose rules. So you're going to have to do a little bit of thinking. It's probably better scale than I shouldn't say better scale. It's a completely different scale than Jaws of Victory, right? So 4 maps, 1,100 counters, 2,400 counters versus 2 maps, 1,100 counters, 1 mile a hex versus 2 mile a hex, stuff like that. But they're both great, and it's good. And I think it could be, it needs some polish, but I'm enjoying it. I'm still playing, so.
Well, that's awesome because you get a chance before things are finalized to give your thoughts and opinions.
Yeah.
Kind of steer them a certain direction, things that they might didn't think about that maybe, if we did this and changed this, now you got the time to put that in ahead of time.
Yeah, well, especially coming at it from, I've never played Corson Pocket 1, so coming at it fresh and just giving thoughts and opinions, and some things got lost in the translation too, because I think that thing was made back when they actually used typewriters to write the rules, right? So some diagrams had issues and things missing, and we managed to pick up on that. And I think Stuka Joe's going to do a big video playthrough with all these fancy transitions and all that fun cool stuff that he does. So it'd be cool to see his experiences as well versus I'm doing some blog posts and a couple of videos. I'm probably going to stop because I don't want to bore people with it. I'm done for now. I'll finish up the game and then I'll release the rest of the content in a month or something like that and give people an extra little boost. And hopefully they'll get over, then get to the number, right? They need 500. So I think they're at 400 now. So.
All right. So we're getting there. Probably 2023 slate then, you think?
Yeah, I don't know. That's not, I don't really know any of that. So
I thought it was going to be sooner than that. I thought he was pretty much ready to go, except for anything that was found here.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's 2 or 3 other people that are looking at the game, and I don't know if they're publishing things about it or not. I really haven't looked, but if it was up to Jack, I think he'd print it tomorrow, right? But there's certainly some those situation maps I showed. There's some things missing on them that need to get fixed, and some rules clarifications, which he can either accept them or not accept them. I don't care. It's just me saying what I think the rule should say, or asking him what does it actually mean, right? I could be just an idiot and not know. So who knows? But I guess it could go to production this year and then be ready 2023. I don't know.
Okay, sounds good. All right, sounds great. Good info as usual. So be sure to check out. We're going to link everyone's Gimpy's video YouTube channel, of course, Big Board Gaming, and of course Mode's channel. We'll link it down in the description down below. If you're not part of their YouTube group, you should head over and make sure you become part of their YouTube group. I know Gimpy was giving away stuff on his channel there. Gimpy, what do you think about that, huh? Giving stuff away.
That's actually a kind of little thank you. I'm saying it's from Compass, because the last town hall they did, I've been talking up Enemy Action Kharkov for a while, bugging them, saying I wanted to get it in my hands. And John Krantz was nice enough to say that he would send me a copy of it. And I got giddy. I was jumping around like a little girl when he said that. My wife was like, "Why are you so excited?" I'm like, "They're sending me a game." And she's like, "Okay, I thought it was important." But she was nice enough. She went ahead and did the guesses video for me. And to kind of pay it back, since they were nice enough to send that to me, I decided to do a giveaway of some Compass games. So I picked out a couple people could choose from. All you have to do is go to the video. It's up. It says Compass Games giveaway, and just subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. That's it to be entered. And then on the 29th of this month, so 4 days from now, I'm going to be doing a random number generator to pick a winner from that. So the odds are actually pretty decent that you'll win, especially compared to like Town Hall, where they have like 200 people always doing that. I was giving John a lot of hell during that giveaway. I was like, come on, they're giving away Kharkov. If there's ever a time for you to draw my name in this hashtag Town Hall, this is the time. He was like, okay,
well, there it is in all its glory right there. Compass Game giveaway. Go check it out over at the Gimpy Gamer.
Yeah,
you got over 5,000 subscribers, Gimp. That's pretty good. That is really good.
Taking years to get there.
Wow.
It's between what's the Zeppelin one? Both of the games are by Greg. Zeppelin Raider and
Night Fighter Ace.
Yeah, I called it Night Hunter. Yeah, Night Fighter Ace and Zeppelin Raider are the two choices. Both Greg type games, the Hunter, Silent Victory, that spiel where you're controlling whatever type of aircraft or submarine it is. But fun games. I've always loved those games that he puts out. Really looking forward to American Tank Ace. I can't wait for Compass to put that one out. But yeah, that's just a thank you from me out for Compass, because they were nice enough to send me that, and I have been dying for Kharkov. I finally have it in my hands, which, by the way, that looks really good. They have definitely improved the quality of components between when Enemy Action Ardennes originally released. You guys remember those little thin white core counters they used to have?
Oh, that was I remember, because what's his name? The solitaire guy, left-handed board or whatever, was making a big fuss about how thin those counters were.
Derek.
Derek. Yeah. I mean, he was just making a comment on how thin they were, and people took it for something worse. But yeah, that's one of those things. I would definitely say that Compass has increased their quality of components quite a bit from earlier things, for sure.
They never talked up one of their biggest selling points, though, which was they had so much of it manufactured here in the States. And people would have been fine paying a little more for the games if they knew that, but they weren't telling anybody. Nobody knew. I remember Mo and I interviewed Bill online on one of the Whiskey Charlies, and that's where we found out, or where I found out about it at least. And I was like, damn, Bill, tell people, let people know that you're doing that. Now, unfortunately, I think they have shipped some of their manufacturing overseas now, because costs were getting so high with inflation, everything that was going on. But yeah, they do what they can here stateside.
That's good. That's good. No, what's been going on with you, Bunny? What you been up to?
Moving.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I know
Me and Kevin have been going through the whole move process.
Because a couple of you guys were moving and changing residence. So now you're in your new place. How do you like it?
Yeah, well, I'm not fully settled in yet. We still haven't sold the other house, and we're in this one. We don't have everything over here yet, but I have my office most of the way squared away. So at least things are going to be different here because it's a smaller house. So I'm going to be using a table in my office to shoot videos rather than the big giant dining room table that I was using before. So I'll be hopefully shooting more often. It's a smaller table. It's 72 by 40. So the other one was like 90 by 40, or something like that. It was huge. So I won't be able to use that one as often, but I'll still use that occasionally. But I'm looking forward to shoot some video. I'm actually looking forward to getting my games out of storage where they're at now. But last night I did pull out a game. The first one I actually sat down and played in quite a while. And it was J. Kirkpatrick's Scream, Aim, Fire. I don't know if you guys have seen that one by Tiny Battle Publishing.
Yeah.
It's a fun little game. I've played it before. I owe them a review on it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And I sat down to play it, and I reminded myself of how maddeningly frustrating that game can be because you think you're going to win, and then the MG42 just says, no, just cuts you down, so a lot of fun. So I'm replaying through that to refresh my memory on it.
He's a Brit, and he has his own webpage, YouTube channel, JK Wargames. So go check that out, if you like his stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I did. And I got that one. I've got, I think Pacific will be on the way because he's got a Pacific version. And he also has the Sniper Kill Confirmed that's coming out through Compass as well. I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's another solo game. So he's well on his way. Definitely. He's got a lot, though, to catch up on Mike Lambo, who's just been ripping out those damn book games like every week.
Hey, Mo, I got to ask you, when you moved, did you accidentally punish the movers like I did? Because when I moved into this house, I wasn't thinking. So I got a bunch of moving boxes, went to Home Depot, bought a bunch of them. And I was like, screw it. I want as few boxes as possible. So I got the biggest boxes they had. And I packed the games in there as tight as they would go. And I wasn't thinking about the fact that, well, I'm not going to have to move them. The movers are going to deal with that. And when they pulled up to our new house to drop stuff off, they were like, please, God, tell us that the boxes that say games are going on the first floor. Because they were so upset. I had like 10, 15 boxes just full of games, and those things were heavy as hell. They were the heaviest boxes that we moved, and evidently it caught them by surprise. They're like, what the hell are in these boxes? What games do you have in there? I'm like, oh, it's just a bunch of board games. And they're like, damn, we didn't know Monopoly weighed that much, man.
I did do that. I have the giant boxes, and I actually wrote on the outside how many games I put in each box just so I knew I can have a count. And I was putting anywhere from 22 to 24 games per box.
Oh, they hated you.
I am the one who lugged them, and I put them in storage. They're still in storage. The movers will move them out, but my back paid the price for that. But I wanted to protect them, and they're good to go now, so they're still in storage.
I did the same thing. Yeah. I moved all my stuff myself too. I wasn't letting anybody else move.
Nobody can touch my shit.
I did the same thing, but I did it with my hardcover books because when I'm upstairs in my library, I have like 4 shelves that are full. They're all hardcovers. And so, but I got all paper boxes and they were all stuffed full of paper and they were all in my basement and they had to move them out. I'm like, I am not moving these things. They were lifting up 4 boxes. They're like, damn, you got way too many books. I'm like, not really.
Oh yeah, and Mike Anthony just got a new house, and he's moving his stuff. It looks like he's moving some miniatures over today. So
nice,
cool.
Yeah, well, miniatures aren't as bad.
No. I will say though, one thing to not overlook, and Ardwolf had talked about this last week because gaming tables had come up, and then that's a big question everybody has. What am I going to do for a gaming table? I'm going to get a couple of those 3x6 tables, put them together and mash them up. It's like, well, those tables are like $60 or $80 a pop, and they're plastic and they're not really the most steady. Don't overlook your Facebook groups because I picked up a 20 or not 20, it was a 56 by 40 dining room table that has leaves inside. You extend it out to 72 inches. Picked it up for $20 because somebody said it's a project table. It doesn't have great finish on the top. I said, I don't care. I'm covering it. I'm putting my games on top. So $20, I got a dining room table for a gaming table. Don't overlook those Facebook groups.
Yeah.
That's what I've always wanted, is one of those professional high-end gaming tables. You know, the ones you see on the websites. These things are like $3,000 or $4,000.
Yeah.
They have the extra sheets.
Play on one first. Play on one first before you go buy one, because
you don't like them.
No.
Why?
Not at all. Not for war games.
It looks so cool, like to have the recessed thing in there. You can cover it up, still have it as like an actual table.
They're beautiful, but not functional for war games. They're great for like Euros, because you got to reach down to play, and it just feels awkward to me. And like you're reaching down rather than reaching across.
Yeah, I get you.
Unless you play it on the flat part, but then if you play on the flat part, you're playing on the regular table, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, I mean, they're beautiful, but for the price, nah.
Plus, you know, if you can't manage your drink on the table or on the side, all the extra bits, I don't care about all that stuff. And no matter how big your table is, there's always that one game that's always going to hang over the edge. So what are you going to do? Like fold it up and over the book, that
roll
lip
it up
and all the rest of it. You know, well, let me just bend this here, crease it, and ruin the map. So it looks good. Come on, man.
Well, that's part of what I think is like, you know, how's it going to film? And some of those tables have like the built-in LED lighting around it, you know, and that's what I was kind of looking at for that extra coverage, because it's always so hard to get it enough light, that doesn't glare. True. You know, to find that right balance, and it's almost impossible to find it.
Mike says he made his for 300. He's got some screenshots on their Facebook group of it. It looks really, really good.
I think I saw his.
It's probably cost $3,000 now with inflation, the way lumber is.
I've got my plastic tables, but they're quite sturdy. They're thick. They're heavy-duty legs. They're not, you know.
As long as you have it against, because I have the same thing back here. As long as you have it against the wall, which I do, unless you're walking around, they're fine.
Yeah.
And I even have like Nerf wars going on, like back that way, and every once in a while I'll find a Nerf bullet on there, and I'm like, oh, did you move? Okay, everything's good. Half the time it's me shooting it, and that's how bad I shoot. So between dice and shooting,
Ruff, what do you have set up back there now, Ruff? You've been flopping things back and forth, and where are you now, and what you're doing?
I took a couple of weekends off from videoing, and I was playing some stuff, some DVG stuff, Warfighter and Corsair Leader, and not filming it, just playing it just for the joy of playing something without having to video it. But I've got, it's not Corson Pocket 2, I'll tell you, it's Malta Besieged. It's the Worthington States of Siege game. I'm videoing part 5, and I'm up to the 3rd deck. There's 3 decks, if you don't know, that you have to get through the 3rd deck. If you get through that, you see how well you've done. So it's scheduled for 2 more videos to do the 3rd deck, or it could be 1 video at 10 minutes, depending if I get killed, because this 3rd deck is a bit gruesome. But I am thoroughly enjoying it. Sorry.
It's a bit dicey, huh?
Yeah, the 3rd deck is, evidently. I've not actually got to that stage yet, but it's great fun. Okay, it's not a simulation, but you do learn a bit of history, and it's great fun, and I'm enjoying it. But then it's Kevin Mo's favourite system. It's Operation Theseus from VUCA Simulations. So
nice.
And I do enjoy it. I know. Me and Kev have had conversations about this, and I actually do enjoy the system.
Oh, the Boogaloo?
The Boog one. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that. Narcan.
It's a good game. It is a good game. It just we have issues with a couple.
I know, and I didn't come across them. Maybe because I was playing it incorrectly. But anyway, we'll gloss over that. So Theseus is next. And I don't know what to do after that. Because the thing is,
hey, I got a list for you.
I'm sorry, no. The list. The problem is, and Gimpy knows it, and we get these games sent to us, and we get so excited that people want to send us games, And of course, you've got to do them justice. You've got to do the unboxing. You've got to do the playthrough. So my 10 games is starting to go a little bit out the window because for some reason I'm getting sent games, and I'm not knocking it. It's brilliant, and I thank people for that and their trust in the channel. But of course, you've got to give them airtime.
Didn't you get Donnerschlag?
Donnerschlag, yeah, and I'm thinking that's great looking game. It looks a nice, simple game, good fun.
Mm-hmm.
And as Patrick said, the designer and Lucas Simulations guy said it's not an in-depth simulation, very simple game, but fun. But
I'm curious about that one. I want to hear your
What
thoughts.
I might do, as you might know, me and the Blue Tweezers are doing live streams most Wednesdays, where his thing is to teach me the game. So I don't read the rules, and he has to teach me the game, the poor soul. Yeah. So we've done lots of things. We have played Atlantic Chase.
I'm glad you're in England because I think that might be cruel and unusual punishment here in the States.
What?
To teach you a game without you reading the rules.
Oh, I thought Tony, I thought you meant you having to watch him do it.
Yeah, that's another trial. That's another trial separately. Yeah, all right. So watch me.
They use that at Gitmo all the time.
But Donnerschlag, which can mean something quite different over here and probably in Aussie as well, if you say it correctly. Has a vassal module just been written for it. So I'm going to ask Tweez if he would indulge me and see if we can have a game.
Nice.
And sort of play it, because it's a 2-player game. There's hidden information. It's going to be quite difficult unless bigger brains than mine can work out a way of doing it.
Right. Do you ever feel obligated? You talked about being feeling obligated to play games when either watchers or publishers send them to you. What's your level of obligation? Do you usually feel like you've got to play the whole thing through, or just do an unboxing? Or
I tell you what,
that can be a burden.
Yeah, but I won't be doing a sort of 24-hour version of Boog River that some guys did.
So you're not going to do 2 or 3 turns then?
I'm going to do maybe one or two turns to give people
impulses.
I did that with Boog River, and it worked well. I said, that's enough. You can probably see how it works, and it's if it's for you or not. But yeah, I'll probably do the same with that, unless it plays a bit faster. But yeah, I will try and do an unboxing, of course, which they don't take very long. But it depends on the game. Like this one, I'm not going to play the whole thing because it will take weeks. To video and to edit and all that sort of thing, but it depends. So at least I give it a good go that people can 3 or 4 videos that people can see if they're going to like it or not.
Right. Yeah, that's the right idea. If they send it to you, you've got to make it worth it,
Yeah.
But I have found that over the course of videos, say you do 5, that the most views it's going to get is going to be that first one, right? And then it's going to go down by about 1/3 with each one.
You're quite right.
Yeah.
Rough estimate. Say you get 100 views on the first one, you're going to get 70 on the next one. Then you're going to get 50 on the next one. It's going to keep going down.
Yeah.
So you want to hit the important stuff right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I've actually been thinking about cutting it down. If I do 10 videos, but only 100 people watch it all the way through, but 1,000 watch the first one, then am I really doing justice versus putting that time towards something else? Cut down the amount that I'm doing on the playthrough.
It tends to be the magic number. 3 videos for me to be the magic number, because you get the biggest one on the. Of course, they're all looking at it. If you bring out a new video, everybody watches it, or more people watch it, and then the second one, people that liked it will watch it. Some will drop off, and then the third one more drop off. And all you're ending up with, which is great, are the people that really want to watch your video on that game. And this is going to take a maximum of 6 videos, but I'm enjoying it as well. And it's quite easy to video. It's quite an easy game to play. And you can see it coming down. The only one it didn't do that as much was when I played Panzer. And that went absolutely bonkers for the first couple, and started to drift down, but it kept up, and I think I did about 5 videos of that. But what a cracker that is.
Hey, Kyle, while I'm seeing this on the screen here, Just a FYI, I usually only do Conus, but I did forget to say that on it. So I'll leave it open to everyone. And if you're far off somewhere very expensive, we might have to work out like splitting the cost of shipping on it.
That's fair
It
enough.
just depends.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, we're
I
actually
think Kyle's in the UK.
Yeah, he's
we're
over here.
actually going to try and run some kind of a. I don't know. We've talked offline about doing some kind of a fundraiser or whatever. Because last year, we got a bunch of games donated and wanted to give them out to the crew and give them out to winners and stuff. And we ended up spending like $400 or $500 in shipping through that. So we're going to try and run some kind of fundraiser this year, so we're not eating all that money ourselves.
Yeah, back in the day, it wasn't too bad. I
Right.
did some giveaways early on. It was $10-15 here or there.
Yeah.
Shipping wasn't bad. And now, ship to Canada, it's horrible. If you ship to California, I think it's cheaper actually to ship to the UK than it is to California for where I'm at.
Probably.
Yeah.
From the
It
East
gets-
Coast to the West Coast. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
And Australia is the worst.
Yeah, Australia. I mean, we shipped out. So yeah, we had this brilliant idea of we'll have this little challenge going on, our 10-game challenge, where we challenge people to come up with a list of 10 games they're going to play. They complete their 10 games, and they're going to get added into the pool at the end of the year. So, and we're going to hopefully get a bunch of games donated and stuff again this year. And I've got an extra couple games myself that I got Race for Bastogne. I ordered 2 copies for some reason. So thinking about donating that to the cause. So, kind of give back to all of our people that show up every week. And
That's great.
But you know what, though? You'll know you've made it when you get a winner and you have to ship him to Algeria. Then you know you've made it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Algiers in Algeria.
That'll be the winner one. All right. That'll be the one that drives me insane.
That person
Actually-
just enters and they win automatically by default.
Yeah.
My thought was you've made it as a YouTuber when you start getting those spammy emails of, hey, do you want to get sponsored by Raid
Yeah.
Shadow VPN and all the other bull crap
Yeah.
that they have going on?
Shark.
Do you get the emails where they want to put a video on your channel? Or we'll pay you $1 if you get out of here.
Which one was it? I think it was Genshi Impact. It was one of the Chinese, Japanese ones contacted me like, hey, you want to do it? No, I don't. I'm not going to say Raid Shadow this, VPN that. I'm just not going to do that. Well, the VPN one probably I wouldn't mind. But Raid, I've swore off. I don't care what they offer. I'm never going to do it just because I hate that mobile bullshit.
Yeah. It's not really gaming. It's just a service for trying to find ways for you to pay.
To spend more
It's an
money.
addiction.
Yeah.
Look, my wife got caught up by Candy Crush years ago. And it caught me by surprise because one month we ended up getting hit with something like the $750 bill. And I'm gobsmacked going, what the hell is this? And she's like, I didn't spend that much. I spent $1 here, $1 there. And I'm like, you spent $1 750
times.
Yeah. And
Wow.
she really didn't see it. She was thinking that it was $1. It was $1.
$1. Yeah.
That's the power of the in-app purchases right there. They just get you in there and it's easy to just go, yes, I'll buy it. Yes, I'll buy it. It's only 99 cents. Only 99 cents.
Yeah.
You do that 200 or 300 times in a month.
You get this
It adds
$400 package for 99 cents. How can you say no?
But the game's crap. I mean, the game's garbage. You could get a good AAA game for $50 or $60, and you spend 10 times that amount on this garbage mobile game. And to her credit, when she realized what she had done, she deleted it. She's like, I'll never pick it up again. I had no idea I'd spent that.
Right.
But that was a kick in the chitlets. Thankfully, that happened way back before we had kids or anything like that. It was ramen noodles there for about a week until we got caught up. I was
But
like,
I
all
bet
right,
you,
That's the
bet
only thing my daughter eats half the time is ramen noodles. So
I bet you though,
How's our
that
let's
AAA
read
title
off
that
the
you
list
bought.
of 10 games that we've got and see where
we're
we're
all
at.
on 4. We're all on
And,
4.
if you guys are on the chat and you're participating this year, type in how many you've got, because we're, like I said, halfway through. So we should be at about 5, right? Yeah, halfway through.
Mark.
Yep. And we're all on 4. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not too bad.
I'm at 15. Does that count?
Yeah.
No, I've played other stuff. And it really enjoyed it. I just didn't video it, I played, 3 days worth of Into the Woods, the Battle of Shiloh, when that was fun. I've played, Falklands twice now. Once Kev beat me and once I just played solo. But I enjoyed playing face-to-face. That was a lot of fun playing face-to-face. I kept pissing Kev off because I kept shaking his guys. He still won, but I still kept shaking his guys.
That's because your tactics suck, but don't worry about it.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, my setup was horrible. But I'm still learning. But I actually have found that I actually like the squad and platoon level tactical games a lot. I really enjoy them a little bit more than the grand strategic stuff. Just because I think there's a good story. That
you got to try that. Mo, what's the name of that game that I covered for you? Assault Red
Horizon 41.
Yeah, that one. Definitely try that one.
That looked pretty good with the kind of modular board and stuff.
It's real good.
Yeah. That one's good. I love the custom dice. I love the way the units are set up, the whole nine. Even the board doesn't look as busy because you have the information on cards off to the side.
Although the copy that Nate sent back to me looks like it went through Stalingrad.
No, I packed it up exactly like
that box is busted all to hell.
Is it really?
Yeah, I sent you. Didn't I send you a picture of it?
No, you didn't send me a picture.
I'll have to see.
I put protection around it, didn't I? I swear to God, I put bubble wrap.
No, you don't understand protection. Yeah, you don't understand protection. Really? That's why you got 9 kids.
That's why he has 5 kids.
I put. Did I not put bubble wrap around it?
You put something.
I think there was one bubble in the wrap.
No.
He burst them before he put it in. He went, "Oh, this is fun."
The entire one side of it was just like it was split.
Easy.
It's broke in the middle, and I think there was something on the bottom too. I thought I sent you pictures of it. But
were the components fine?
Yeah,
the components are fine, but
it's just the box that got mixed up.
So I put a half a bottle of Elmer's glue in there, and it's good.
Okay, Kev, what's up?
When I get the replacement, the one he's going to send me, I'll send the box so you'll be good. No, I feel bad about that. I don't want to send it to you bad,
Here, I can use them there, Kev. How's that?
Kev's trying to talk.
Oh, sorry.
No, no. I was just going to offer Tony that I have a copy of that game, and since I'm not a huge fan of it, you pay the shipping. I'd be more than happy to send it to you. And you can cover it if you want.
Yeah, cool. That sounds great because it did. I was impressed with it from what I saw from Mo's video of it. So I'll definitely do that. Yeah, we'll talk after. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And we also got to set a time to do some GBOH too.
Sure. I would love to.
Yeah, get some GBOH up because that's fun. That's a tactical. It's got a great story to it. I love the narratives, the tactical games, especially. Yeah, it's
which one?
Go on.
Which one of the GBOH are you going to
do? Something from SPQR.
Yeah, I like
either
that
or Cataphract or Alexander. I got Conquest.
I'll do any of those.
Yeah,
Cataphract has some balanced battles, so we can find a small balanced battle and get through it.
I enjoyed my first raid into GBOH again with Tweez teaching me a bit of Cataphract. Great fun, fantastic. Yeah, can't wait to have a go on my own now.
Now you're doing simple, right?
No.
It's
not. Do simple. It's so much better.
Simple is not simple. It's literally not any easier.
I've been taught Red Storm. I've been taught Red Storm. No simple GBOH for me.
Notice he didn't say I learned Red Storm.
Now, I know Tony's a big ATS guy. Has he talked to Kev or Gippy or Mo and trying to get you guys converted into playing some ATS with them? No.
Never going to happen.
Nope.
Not down that rabbit hole. I've got enough of them.
You're not ATS fans, or just the system, or you just don't like the tactical, or what?
Go ahead,
I'm not
Mo.
sure what game you're talking about.
Advanced to Brook
like-
system.
It's
Oh.
ASL different, but
Yeah,
squad
it's-
level tactical.
It's I don't know. I think Lock and Load Tactical is probably my go-to when it comes to tactical, for like the squad level, because they cover modern as well as World War II. Everybody covers World War II. When it comes to any other new ones, I have to check out Panzer Grenadier because that was sent to me. So I'm going to check that one out and see how that plays.
I like that. It's fun.
I'm not sure, I'm not sure how it's going to be yet till I try it.
Yeah.
It's Marmite. It's Marmite. You're going to love it or hate it. It's one of them.
Well, I'm wondering if the new one that's coming out for what is that one? Worthington comes out with they get the Pacific one, Band of Brothers, or they had Band of Brothers originally, and then they have the Pacific Band of Brothers coming out. I'm wondering if they've made any changes to that system to make that one more interesting, because I found that one that it just kind of felt a little too flat for me. It seemed very samey every
Was
time.
that the one that goes move, flank, tack? Sort of
Yeah,
thing?
find, fix, flank, finish. It was that way every time, and I understand they're trying to get across that point of infantry combat, but it felt like you had to do that to advance.
Right.
And I was like,
That's the problem with that game. I don't mind the infantry in that game, Band of Brothers, but I don't like the armor stuff.
The armor,
just doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
And for me, for ATS, I've got Lock and Load for the modern stuff that I enjoy. I love Panzer and I love NBT. And then there's old school tactical. I really enjoy that system. So that's kind of meat enough for me. So I don't need last 100 yards, right? There's something that's a unique system that I think has got a lot of value that I would try. But just ATS is like similar to ASL, similar to Lock and Load. They're all kind of similar to me, and I've got enough of the similar stuff. That's why it's a pity that like the Red Eclipse or Contact Now or whatever, that's never going to make it probably to the market. But that's potentially a new-ish game system that might be different enough to want to look at, but I doubt it.
Was that been going over to another company? Because
went to Compass, I think.
Went to Compass.
Was it somebody before that, or just a Compass?
Lock and Load.
Lock and Load.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it was with somebody else prior to that too. So it's been around. It's done the rounds.
I'm surprised none of you guys are mentioning Conflict of Heroes, the 3rd edition. Really? Am I the only?
Conflict have never been produced, never been published again.
Look, he German engineers the shit out of everything that he makes, but it's done.
Great. If I can't get it, dude, who cares?
I really like the 3rd edition. I think that system was great. I love that the die system, the custom die they did to see whether or not the unit
the
is
weighted
spent
die
or not.
Yeah,
the weighted die. That's the word I was looking for.
Right.
I loved it. I thought it played really well because it gave that randomness that you need for that solitaire play. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
Evidently, I'm the only one though.
No, I liked it too, but it's not. It doesn't jump to the forefront of my mind for that. I like how you're pushing, like you were saying about trying to make sure you're not spent instead of having to manage the command points and everything. That can kind of get a little gamey. I would rather have things just happen. A unit is either spent or they're not spent for various reasons, and just worry about the tactics and blowing stuff up. And you have to have that good balance between simulation and Hollywood action.
Right.
Because
they don't publish
that's
enough.
honestly,
right?
and Mitch just yelled at me, by the way. I just want to let you know that Mitch is like saying I'm not defending ATS by any means. So Mitch is watching right now.
He's messaging you, is he?
Yeah. So beep just came up. So no, but the reason why I do, and he's just messaged me again. What did he say now? What is he saying?
You're fired.
God,
make sure you say this and point this out too.
No, I like it because it is a fluid game. So it's not I go, you go, which is one of my.
He's doing a Joe. He's reading from a script.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
Hey, you said no politics.
No, yeah. No, I really enjoy it because it's an ebb and flow because it's like a chip pull impulse activation, so it's not an I go, you go. The game is fluid. No matter what you plan, you can't always be it because something could open up because of the way they moved or something along those lines. And that's why I liked it. Pardon?
That's Lock and Load Tactical, isn't it?
It's very similar. Well, it's similar on the impulse. Yes, the impulse is just exactly the same. So you
I'm
activate
being
these
daft.
groups.
I'm winding
Yeah.
you up, John.
Yeah.
I
But
like
I'll
what you're
tell you
saying,
what,
Tony. I like what
the
you're saying. That
armor-
sounds good.
The armor in ATS is phenomenal. It is so much. I've kind of been researching ASL and their armor, and I hate it. But I absolutely love the armor in ATS because it's very similar to Panzer and MBT, where you have a penetration value. You look at where you hit it. What is that tank's penetration? What's the armor of that
He
tank?
reads very well, doesn't he?
Yeah, so it's really, really good. Yeah, very funny there, Kev.
I'm joking. Get out of it.
Yeah. So, but no, it's in.
Mitch
the
is over
armor
there
is
furiously
cool.
typing away. And don't forget this. And don't forget that.
Get in here, Pete.
And,
Get in here.
and the command rules. Oh, and supply.
No, there's
Don't
no,
forget supply.
There's no supply and there's no command.
I'm just
Well,
kidding, dude.
I
I'm just
know,
kidding.
I know.
We're just winding you up, Tony.
But what's interesting is
ATS.
everybody has their kind of interest in certain areas, and that
Yeah.
Don't call my baby ugly.
You play what you like. I do like lock and load tactical for the Falklands and the modern stuff. I think that is so much fun.
Mhm.
Sure.
That is a blast.
What about fighting formations? I want to try it. Mike,
Mike
Like
wants
it.
to teach me.
yeah.
Maybe he can teach the two of us.
We
Like
can't get a copy, though. You've got to get
Well-
the second edition, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm
But to
interested
try
in it because it's a different
Yeah.
format. It's a different technique. So
Have
I've
you
got a
tried it
copy
yet?
here somewhere, rough. I've got a copy, rough, if you want it.
What, second edition? The most, because it was updated quite badly.
Really? What do they do? What do they do?
I don't know. Rewrote
Yeah,
the
well,
rules. I don't know.
So
They're
I
not
guess I
saying-
should throw mine away.
No. What do you think of it? Have you tried? You obviously tried it then.
Yeah, I've watched it. I've watched it being played, and grew very bored. And it's not particularly solo friendly. So
Oh,
next.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's one of its biggest drawbacks. Is it's a little
Yep.
finicky with. You basically have like a track that you're moving back and forth,
Right.
and when you do things, you move the track, and as long as the track's on your side, you can do things. So you can do like a bunch of little tiny things because you're moving the track back just a little bit, or you can do like one big thing, or if you time it right, you can do a whole bunch of little ones and then do the big one right at the end and flip it over to the other guy's turn. So it's kind of finicky that way, and I don't think solo would work really well because you're kind of just fighting against yourself.
Yeah. It's got. I mean, it's very interesting, right? I think it's interesting, but I don't know that it's something I want to invest the effort or the time in when I've got so many other systems at a similar scale.
Oh,
Okay,
right.
so there is only one edition. Well, so if you want it, you can have it.
Yeah.
But pay for shipping.
Kharkov is like
Kharkov's the expansion.
it's
Oh, there is an expansion.
technically a standalone, but you need the other game to play all the scenarios. So
Right.
I don't know what they want if they call it an expansion.
And
Oh,
no one
that's-
mentioned the other one that Kev and I have talked about before, back and forth, TCS. I know Kev's got more
Yeah.
experience with TCS probably than everybody here, but
That's,
that's another one that's interesting.
well,
That's more.
that is on the cards.
Hands of Grenadier. You've got a lot of those, don't you, Ruff?
TCS, yeah.
Yeah.
And well, not so
Nice.
much for the Grenadier.
And I sent Ruff a bunch of these because it's one of those things. I just
Oh, there you go. Get you some of
Nice.
that action.
Now,
Nice.
poor old Tweezer again has got in contact. One of his subscribers has got into contact, wants to play TCS with us. So we might go down to London, have a few beers, have a chat, have a little bit of a play, and then come back and play it on Vassal. This is a system I really want to learn, though. So
yeah. What do you guys think, Kev?
I
He
love
loved
it. I love it.
He
I
loves
love it. It's one of the best platoon scale tactical systems out there, and it's readily playable solo, particularly if you use all the command rules. There's lots of support online. There's a TCS group on Facebook. The guys they're still trying to make more games. I'm kind of frustrated with MMP because they've gone to this Ziploc thing, but whatever. But the latest release Ariete was fantastic, and Canadian Crucible is fantastic. That Frozen Hell is great with some of the updated rules. I could talk for 20 minutes.
You're gonna geek out. He's gonna geek out over it.
Yeah.
Just wind them up and let them go.
Yeah. But I'm hoping that's what's going to happen when I get into it. I'm going to go, yes. So yeah.
Yeah, that's Mitch says kind of my whole issue is like there's
Can
like
you not do
first
that?
edition, 1.2 edition, 1.5 edition. There's like
You can do that. You can do that. Works today. I mean,
It's
I
like
don't know.
SPS, isn't it? You just retrofit the newest rules to the game you're playing.
You just use the current rules, and there are some modifications you need to make, but it all works. I'm not sure what he's saying there, but maybe
I know there was some.
I'm just sitting here and
with
ATS
the,
buys. I just picked this
artillery.
up, so I'm buying ATS. It's D-Day 1944 British airborne assault on the Orne and the Canal bridges. So that'll be on my channel eventually. So ATS, I'm still buying stuff from them, and it's my go-to squad level tactical for sure. I love it.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's on my list of 10 games we need to play, Tony.
Yep,
So we
got to play. Yep.
We need to hook up and play it sometime.
And Kevin had mentioned Old School Tactical, which is another really fun one, and they've got the first
love that
edition
game.
or volume
Love that
1
game.
that's coming out in probably another 2 months or 3 months. We should see
Yeah.
the latest Kickstarter deliver. So looking forward to seeing it, playing that one again.
Yep.
That one's
that's
like
kinda
Flying Pig, right?
Flying Pig, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of my go-to World War II stuff at the
Mhm.
moment. There's no one else is publishing that I like is publishing much World War II stuff. So
There
there you go. Look at that big bad boy.
Kev,
It
you
is
don't like
a-
anyone.
It is a monster, boys. It's a monster.
It is. It's a
That's the only
huge
problem.
box.
You've got a map 6 foot long, and you're playing on that.
Yeah.
But I'm
Of course, all the expansions,
trying it.
right?
There you go, Stalingrad. Nice.
Of course, one of the best things about it. Pre-rounded counters.
Mhm.
You haven't even punched it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to punch them to use them, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First
Stalingrad's fun
thing to
one.
do.
I regret not having that.
That's not
now.
true. That's not true.
I really want to get
Because
that one back in
I
print.
bought the special print and play edition as well, so I can print out my own counters on my sticky paper, just mount them,
Look at you.
Nice.
and then I
That's
can
pretty
keep
cool.
my originals.
All right, that's good thinking back now.
Oh, so you can keep your originals and you can take them on Antique Roadshow and sell
Yeah,
them in the
yeah.
future for like
Yeah.
$18,000.
Yeah.
They're going to be worth $36.
Grandfather had this. Look, he hasn't punched it. They
Right.
go,
I
sorry,
have
mate.
an unpunched copy of Old School
Unpunched.
Tactical.
Copy, unpunched copy.
And they'll be like, and they bring us on and we'll be like, ooh, this is worth $310.
This is worth tens of dollars.
Yeah. This is worth dollars. No, but old school tactical, that's one I'd like to have a little dab. Hello. He's
You okay?
fine.
I was gonna say, is he dying over there?
No, he's getting all his own.
I'm one of the few people out there that I know that have actually all 3 copies of Old School Tactical
Nice.
with all the expansions. There's Volume 2, which is the West Front.
The problem is, those boxes, you should have a word with Mark. Those boxes aren't standard. Look, these shells
Oh,
are.
no.
That's standard for Flying Pig.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Go big or go home is Mark.
Yeah, Most Fearful Sacrifice showed me how big those boxes are.
That's a big box. But then Herman needed a big box because there's a lot of stuff in there.
Well, that game is just
The most
excellent.
fearful
Though.
sacrifice is picking
It's
it
going
up.
bonkers. It's going bonkers, isn't it? Everybody's playing it.
Yeah, it's on my table right now. I was actually filming it right before this little show.
I'm
Everybody
gonna
except me
wait till
because I
next
want the
July.
standard copy.
I
I'm
couldn't
gonna wait
hear
till
you.
next July. When everybody's on to something else, I'll bring it out again and maybe
Yeah, I'll
go
probably
and
get
play
it when
then.
everybody's finished with it. Kev,
I've got it. I love it. It's beautiful. Absolutely.
Mm.
I think I had a hernia like lifting it, but
It is heavy. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
well, that's 2 mat boards for you. That's what that does for you. So, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it's a big, beautiful map. It's one
Oh,
that
it's
just
gorgeous.
looks good on the table.
I'll tell you what, I'm not a fan of Rick Barber maps, but with how big those maps are, I do enjoy them because I wasn't a big fan, but the hexes are bigger, so you can really see it. Yes, Ruff. What? Tell me something.
Talk to us, Ruff.
Sorry, I thought I'd gone deaf there. You stopped. Right, Kev, The Long Road.
So as we were saying,
The Long Road. What do you think?
What do I think? So I only played one scenario, and I didn't really get a chance to get too far into it. But if you liked the old World at War, the original World at War that Mark Walker designed, I think you would enjoy the non-supernatural versions of the scenarios that are in The Long Road. It plays super fast and very clean. It's that platoon scale, bucket of dice, make things happen and blow shit up game. If you like the supernatural stuff and you like that kind of backstory, then I think it's got a lot more potential there because it brings in some sort of unique, almost RPG style character, not evolutions, but gameplay and stuff like that. And I've read a couple of the books, and so I don't mind the vampire character, and I don't mind that there's a devil.
People are moaning, but they don't realise you don't have to play the vampires. You
don't have to do both, right?
No, yes, you do.
I would, yes.
Yeah, well, you can, but you don't have to, and
you should.
Say, okay, if you would like to answer the question, go ahead.
Sorry.
You can do both, right? You can do both, but I wouldn't. But you don't have to. So I think there's more scenarios with all the supernatural stuff than there are without.
I'm just saying.
Hey, Nate, what do you think?
I just think you get a supernatural game, you use the supernatural stuff.
Yeah. But people are moaning because it's got supernatural stuff in, and my point was,
don't buy the freaking
thing. You don't have to play them. There's normal World War III stuff in it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say it's World War III. It's World War III. World War III between the Soviets and between Warsaw Pact and NATO thankfully never happened. So it's alternate timeline to begin with. You add in, and there are a bunch. Thankfully, I'm super happy there are World War III games out there. What's wrong with having one that has werewolves and vampires in it? I think it's kind of cool.
Lovely. Yes.
Yeah.
It's really well done. Look, production values are off the chart. The rules are actually decent, right? I mean, Mark's first versions of most rule books are usually a little bit of a cluster. There's always issues. The scenarios, I think most of the scenarios have the setup instructions correct, which is nice. There actually was one error on one. But I mean, it plays really well. So if you don't like the supernatural stuff, don't play it or don't buy it. But, don't be a dick about it and just go, let's get supernatural in it.
Yeah, and there are some doing that, but it appeals to me because it's got supernatural.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's super fun.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying is why?
That's the idea.
Like, get something else. Like there's NATO, there's Third World War, there's just a plethora of games out there.
Tactical stuff that's out there too. So that's
Now I've got the Panzer and all the expansions for that, and I know Ruff loves the Panzer stuff.
I think Ruff played that once or twice.
I just can't get into it. What's wrong with me?
Can't get into what?
Where do you want to start?
We don't have fun.
Well, I've got a list here. Hold on, I've got a list here.
Excuse me, this is a 2-hour show, right? Save that for the fundraiser show, the telethon.
Yeah. I charge for therapy, pal.
Hey, Tim wants to know: are they hot, sparkly vampires? Are the vampires hot, sparkly vampires? Tim
vampires.
Yeah, cat's hot for sure,
but no sparkles.
No sparkles though.
And the werewolves don't look like dogs; they look like werewolves, badass werewolves.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The werewolves are cool.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to playing.
There's cool human characters in it as well. But anyway, sorry.
Panzer. Back to Panzer now.
Yeah.
Oh, I fell in love with it. That's
what can you say? I know Ruff's tried to convince me 12 times over 12 different shows to do it, to play it. I just can't do it. What could you do? What could you add to convince me to try it out?
I've tried, guys. Your turn.
Who's played? Who else has played?
I've not played Panzer. I've not played MBT yet.
I hate to say, but it's on my shelf. I haven't played it yet.
Give it a go. No, the only problem is the command phase, where if you're playing face to face, is a secret. Yeah, so you don't know what the other person's doing. The way I got round it was I just threw a die, and whoever won, they placed their commands first, and the other guys got some info, got some spy work going on, so they sort of got an idea what they're doing, and they can adjust their commands to it. That's all I did. It worked well.
I love it. I love it. It's so much narrative, number one. Number two, it's granular enough that if you want to be a total rivet counter, you can. But you don't have to be. You can literally pick and choose everything from the extra super duper detailed shoot to hit rules to command and morale and all that. You can add in, take out, use it, not use it. And that makes it so, I think, flexible for new players that can just jump in, play the game, try it. And then if they like it, then they can add in, what would it be like if I use this special rule or that special rule? What happens if I use the command? Because then now you really got Warsaw Pact versus NATO, and things have become really interesting because the command radius has changed and morale points matter, and you start losing units, and different weapon systems become more difficult to use or easier to use. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't tried MBT yet because there's more weapons and things, of course.
All the same. It's all the same, 100%.
Yeah, there's just more weapons and things. But the thing I love about Panzer is you can just play the basic game if you want, and then I'm going to add in the advanced firing rules, or I'm going to put this in, or I'm going to put bogging down in. That looks easy enough. I'll pop that in, bogging down. And it's you can add them in, take them out, do what you like. But
I think that's my hang up is for me, this is just me speaking. When I get to a game, I want the game to have the rules to play the game. Not for me to decide what the rules should be.
It does. It has the basic game, which you could play, and then the advanced rules.
Yeah, but the basic game doesn't even have infantry.
That's crap.
That's
basic
ridiculous.
Crap.
You know what I'm saying?
Crap. If somebody wants to learn the game, it's good, and then you'll soon move on. That's what.
I just can't stand it. I don't like my games to be add this or this or this or add all of it. I want.
So then you've never played the next War
have
series?
The game rules in it.
So then you've never played the next War series, which has the basic game and the advanced game?
No,
there's a difference. The basic game is actually pretty good in Next War.
It's fantastic, yeah.
I mean, I did all of the India-Pakistan basic scenarios. Moving on, I'm going to be moving on to the advanced ones. Loved it. But I was reading the basic rules for Panzer, and I'm like, this is boring.
Sure, I think it's meant to. I think it's basically meant to be because they want you to play the advanced game.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make, Jesse, is that let's say, because it's a big rule book, right? It's 60 or 70 pages. So if you don't want to take on the overhead of learning artillery and air and helicopters and all this other thing, well, that's for the modern stuff, but artillery and air and the advanced command rules and the advanced morale rules, you don't have to. If you want to just learn the mechanics of how do two tanks shoot at each other and how do the infantry close assault and shoot at each other, you can do that. And you go, okay, I get it. And that's the entire, really the meat of the game right there. And then everything else you're adding in is really enhancing. I would look at it as chrome that you could add into the game. And then there's one optional rule really, or maybe two optional rules on the shooting bits, the shooty bits, that where you roll an extra die. And you look at some shit on a table and you add or subtract some firepower, and then it may or may not change the result, right? And so that's really it. And if you want to add that extra die roll, you can. If you stick a roll on a bunch of dice, you don't have to. So it doesn't. It's not saying, oh, it's a menu or a laissez-faire type of thing. It's just giving you the choice to be as rich and as detailed as you want to be, given the time you have or the level of overhead you want to take on.
You see, I haven't put the infantry in yet. I was quite happy playing with the advanced rules and the penetration rules, the extra die roll. I think you're talking about.
Right.
Yep. That makes a tremendous difference sometimes.
Sure, it's cool, right?
It's penetrated, but no, it's not. It didn't work for some reason. But I haven't done the infantry. I haven't done artillery yet, or the aircraft, and I'm well happy with the game. That's going to be my next project when I get time, is to learn the infantry.
Couple of things though that they could do to fix, to fix that game up a little bit, just on first impressions. Number one, get better maps. Those maps are just terrible. And then thin out those data cards. They take up so much room in the box. It's like needs a 3 to 4 inch box, because there's those counters are big, the data cards are thick, and then those accordion maps are just, it's like, no, get real maps, get real art. Those maps, I understand geomorphic maps and all that stuff, but you can have better art on geomorphic maps, because that's one thing that those are just terrible.
Yeah, but that's not going to change.
No, unfortunately,
because it's a commitment across all the platforms. It's all the same color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I don't play Panzer.
If that's a sort of nod to ASL or whatever it is, of the old school type maps. But one of the Panzer expansions, I think I had 3 big counter trays of all the stuff, because one of the things, 2 or 3, it's like huge, and there's no way you can get it back in the box. But the maps. Look, I play Panzer Grenadier on these marmalade maps. They look like marmalade. They're hideous maps, but you look through it, and enjoy the game. I've gone past, people moan about the maps. You get used to them, but I hear what you're saying. Bright blue lakes, I know, okay. I hear what you're saying.
ATS is the reason why I don't play. I don't play Panzer because I play ATS. It's almost the same system for armor, almost. So it's got the penetration. You look at the armor, and then I already know the infantry rules already, because you learn infantry before you learn armor, and it's just so that's why I don't play. I have it, but I don't have all of them. I just have the original, because I was like, hey, this looks good, and then I realized that I'm basically playing ATS with tanks. The nice thing is,
fair enough.
There's more tanks. There's more tank. You can do more tank on tank battles with Panzer. So if I'm in a tank mood, that's where I would go.
We certainly do.
To the round table. How you doing, Mark? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out.
So that's why I don't play with Panzer. Now MBT is a different story, because it's a different modern. You got all the kind of fun tools and toys and everything. So I definitely want to play MBT 100% for sure, because of that. Because there's nothing else out there comparable that I can think of.
Yep.
That I already played
at that scale. For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely armor vehicle centric, right?
Yeah.
So
I think that's why I picked it up.
Is go for more infantry as opposed to vehicles. I'm more of like a infantry guy. I like to have lots of infantry and just a little bit of vehicles. I know a lot of people like the vehicles, and
so you're more like the World War II mindset of tanks as support, not tanks as tip of the spear.
If you're looking at something that's modern, I don't know if you've noticed, but me and Mitch and Evan, well, really Mitch and Evan, because I've kind of stepped out away from it, but ATS actually has a modern, and when I mean modern, I mean today modern.
Really?
Like M16s. Yeah, I've got it right here. But yeah, they've actually developed a system using the ATS rules for the modern.
Is he still getting texts telling him what to talk up?
Yeah, he's on one, isn't he? There's Mitch.
Mitch is over there furiously typing away.
Make sure you.
So you have AFEs, the Americans. I've got the Russian Federation, and then the Ukrainians.
Yeah, he's got back.
But how recent are these, especially Ukrainians and the Russians?
Well, they're redacted, but let me. Oh, that just went in the trash.
I mean, is it prior to the Ukraine war, or is it?
Yes, it was developed before the Ukraine war, but it's kind of interesting. Like they've got, so they got the M120 mortars, the M240 mortars. I know we've got. So when you're talking about information, so this is the M60A3 card. This whole page.
Wow.
M1A2. card, everything. So they've got all the armor for the upper, lower, turret, things like that. All the different guns and main ammunitions. There's some missile ones too. So
I think
they're
you've kept your job, Tone.
what?
I think you've kept your job.
But
He has to justify those modules that get sent to him. No, but
oh no, I paid for these.
I'm curious. I'm curious now. Now, are those just modules, or do you have to have a base game and then get the modules?
You have to get the US to get the information. So you do have to have the ATS rules because they use a lot of the basic rules for ATS, and then they give you the modern rules with the Americans, and then you do have to buy it that. So Mitch says, think MBT on steroids. This is the way he's describing it. So they use instead of squads. They use fire teams, so it's 4 individuals instead of a whole squad. Okay. So if you lose an individual, you go down to a 3-man counter instead of a 4-man counter. It's really good. I'm letting Mitch and Evan hash it out a lot, and then I'll play rough and let them teach me.
But if that's your thing, isn't it? And fair enough. And
it's modern. I'm curious. Now I'm curious to check out the modern part, just because.
Yeah, if it's truly modern versus Cold War, I'm interested. But if it's more granular and more detailed and more overhead than MBT, then you're probably not going to get me. The look at that info card for 1 unit is like, hey, that's
MBT is enough for me. MBT and Panzers is enough for me. I think.
Start thinking, is it like BattleTech? You got to like color in the dots as you take out the armor.
What's that space game, that Federation thing where it takes 42,000
Fed Empire?
Fed Empire to play. I moved my spaceship a quarter of a click at 1 parsec speed.
Yeah, me and Kev are going to start playing Federation and Empire. We're going to start that now. We expect the series to go till we're about 73.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I got that game, but for some damn reason, when I got it, I didn't get the rules for it. So I've got the components, but not the rule book that goes with it. I got it on eBay, so.
You could probably download the rules.
I looked around. The best I could find was the way to order them online, but I couldn't find a place to download them.
All right, so we're halfway through 2022. And so we got 6 months in, 6 months to go. What's the best game you played so far this year that you hadn't played previous to this year? So new game for you, haven't played it until 2022. Now you played it and you're like, yep, I like it. What do you think? What do you have anything on your list?
What haven't?
Well, there's a lot of thinking going on. Maybe that question.
I pulled up.
Let me try again.
I pulled up ATS. I was eyeballing that real quick. Sorry.
So, game you haven't played until 2022. Now you played it, and you're thinking, "This is good. I like this."
Well, I'll get mine out of the way then, and we've been talking about it for the last half hour. That's Panzer.
Okay, Panzer. There you go.
That's a lock and load tactical. Actually, I was impressed about that. I was more impressed about that than I thought I would be. I thought it was a little more chintzy, but actually, I really, really had fun time with it. Especially because it's Falklands, and I really got into the Falklands stuff lately. So,
but I played lock and load tactical and all that. This is the Panzer was a game I've never played. I learned it, videoed it, fell in love.
Well, okay, I'll jump in. One that I've already mentioned, Mo reminded me of the Assault Red Horizon. That would definitely be my favorite at the tactical level. I liked all the new stuff that he did with it. I like the customness, and I really like the way the order of battle is set up in that game because they're all set up on cards. So you'll draw a card and it'll tell you what units you're going to have. So many anti-tank guns, so many infantry or different types of infantry, trucks, tanks, whatever it is. But it's divided into armor, infantry, and artillery. Am I right remembering that, Mo? The 3 different categories? Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a scenario, you might have an order of battle that gives you 1 infantry card and a couple of artillery cards. But in that, when you draw them, you can draw them randomly. You can set up point system. There's multiple ways to handle it. But in a way, it makes it to where there's no static order of battle. So each scenario in the booklet can be different, right? You draw a couple of armor cards randomly for the game, you're going to get different units depending on which cards you draw. So all the games can be random, right? And then when you add in the command point system as well on top of it, you have so many command points that you can use to activate your units, but it's never enough to activate all the units. So whether you're playing in solitaire or heads up against someone, you don't know which units the enemy's going to activate because they're going to have to decide beforehand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, the custom dice system, which I really liked, it's similar to a lot of games that we've played, but he innovated and tried many new things that I liked. Biggest being the order of battle. It gives that game so much replayability that it's not even funny in the way that you can play it. And I've got to shout out my boy. He's still in there. Herman Lutman with A Most Fearful Sacrifice. I've been having a lot of fun with that one. It's gorgeous. It looks good. It plays well. Just great game overall. But everyone's talking that one up. So I'm.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought you would have said Enemy Action Kharkov. You've been such a.
I haven't played it yet.
Say, how could you not mention Kharkov?
I haven't played it yet. It's games that I played. That one just came in. So
yeah,
there's nothing I can say about it yet. Now it's going to be played.
Suck. It may suck. You know.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Shut your mouth.
You shut your mouth.
I mean, when we get a moment, when the others have had a chat, I wanted to get Enemy Action, Ardennes and Kharkov because it's Battlefield. And you think, yeah, but I've watched people play it, and it just doesn't do anything. I asked Dave from Dave's Gaming Cave because he was playing it, loves it, and you obviously love it. Gibby, convince me. I've got some birthday money sitting there burning a hole in my pocket.
It's a different type of war game.
But
it is. It's very deep. Now, this is based off of Ardennes. Okay, I haven't played Kharkov yet, so I can't say one way or the other on that. But with that game, the combat in it, you have to use your cards to determine what units are going to be activated, and you have to make smart decisions in supporting your units. So when you do your actual combat, you want to have support, you want to have mechanized, you want to have tank, artillery if you can, all the usual stuff that you would do. But that comes into play when you're doing your chit draw for the
and that's the thing that got me. It said, right, you've got to pick a minimum of 2.
Yes, there's minimum and maximums.
Yeah, and you go, all right, I want to make sure I kill this one. I'm going to pick 37 chits. Right, and that's
no,
how
there's a max. There's a max.
I know, whatever the max is, I'm going to pick the max.
7 or something like that.
But with that, though, there's still going to be randomization in those chits that no matter how well prepared you are, shit can still go bad if the chit draw goes bad. And there's something, I forget exactly how many, like 50 chits.
They couldn't represent that in the CRT with a die, so they decided to use chits because it's more fun to sit there and pull.
Kevin hates chits.
Chit pulling.
You're not pulling 50.
All right, I need to pull
7.
Make sure I'm going to pull 11. And I'm going to annihilate this guy. Yeah, that's what I couldn't get. And is it me being? Is it worth it? Kev,
think of it like this, right? When you're drawing those chits, it's a scoreboard, attacker, defender, right? And depending on what bonuses or steps you've taken, if you've got the mechanized or artillery support, it'll either be a point for the attacker or a point for the defender, and that's going to add up as you draw those chits, right? So you want to get the best score possible, so you win the combat.
So the more you pick, the better chance you got of winning.
Not necessarily. It's the choices you made up until that point.
You see where I'm going with this? I need convincing, guys. I need convincing.
Yeah.
The point is that you can have the best advantage. You can have everything in your favor, and stuff could still go wrong. More than likely, it won't, but it still has that possibility. Whereas with like a standard CRT, if you've got
you can
you're
math
on the
it out.
farthest right column, you know that no matter what, the combat's not going to go bad.
No,
that's not true.
The worst you're going to get is a no effect.
That's not true. That's absolutely not true.
But with a standard CRT, you can go into it. Okay, if I get this and this and this support, I'm going to get like 3-to-1 or 4-to-1, maybe column shift or whatever. You can think of those things ahead of time. Whereas when
you can think of the things with this though, you know what the
you can think, but you don't know what the draw is going to be, and that's where
you don't know what the result's going to be either, right?
You don't know what the results are, but you can hedge your bets on the results better. Just like with Boog River. How many times did we see that?
You play a Simonich game and you get 7-to-1. And you're like, oh, this is a laydown. I'm going to win, and you roll a 1, and it's an A1 D1, right? Well, so you're taking that risk. Now you have the same risk when you pull a handful of chits out, and then you sit there and tally up all the good things for you and all the bad things for you, and then you end up with a net, and you go, oh, it didn't work out. I just rather roll one die and have a freaking answer and then move on to the next combat. But that's okay. I understand that there are people who would enjoy that because they feel like it's either a story or more narrative, and that's awesome. And I'm glad Nate likes it. I don't like it.
It has kind of like a chess feel to it, with that randomization added into it. You know, that's what it does have.
Yeah, I'm not sure about
which
that.
I know you're not going to like that, but
I'm talking about like games are simulating something, right? They're simulating the combat. So are you crossing a river? Are you attacking from an advantageous position?
Sure.
You know, what are you doing? And it's how well did they simulate that effect?
Yeah. All war games
you're right. What's that?
Across the bridge? Are you attacking across a river? Are you attacking into the woods? You know, aren't all war games like that?
But it's more special because it's Kharkov.
It's more special because it's got chits, and Kev hates chits.
It's got chits, and it's a famous designer. It must be fabulous.
I wanted to like it, and I watched some videos, and I went, "Oh."
I've done the same thing, man. I can't get into it.
So I don't care about the designer, right? The name behind it doesn't matter. It's how does it play?
Yeah, and I looked and I went, "Oh." And that's not me dissing the thing because there's people loving it, and I'm thinking, do I get that or do I get combat exclamation mark?
Yeah. It's a style. It's a style.
Combat exclamation mark.
It's a style of play, right?
Yeah.
So it's a different mechanic, and I think it gets people engaged. Some people engage, and other people it turns off. Anyway, coming back to favorite game for the year. I think
picking on other games,
moving things on, Kev. I appreciate that, sir.
Yeah, sorry, I did say when we got a moment, but they just took over. And I'm quite grateful for that.
That guy doing that.
I haven't said anything. You're the one that rambled on about it
because he's a notorious asshole.
There you go. I am.
Had to throw it in there.
So for me, I guess by number of plays and by I guess thematically, I probably enjoyed the most was
Warfighter.
The new Warfighter. Yeah, there's a winner. Pacific War, Mark Herman's Pacific War.
Pacific War. I was just going to mention that.
Really enjoyed that this year. And then I think close second would probably be I finally played BCS and played it correctly with somebody online. And I've enjoyed that a lot. I think I now understand that game system. So I'm going to be digging into that. And for a solo game, I'll just throw out real quick. Battles A Week in Hell, the Battle of Way, Battles Magazine. I really enjoyed that as a little solo throw-up game. I think it captured the kind of the situation pretty nicely. I wrote about that a fair bit.
Yeah, you did. That's what I thought you liked that because you wrote about that quite a lot, and it was and I'm looking out for it. Yeah.
And didn't you? I think I watched a couple of your videos on Salerno. Didn't you enjoy that one too?
I really did. I think I actually spoke to Mark at the CSW con that was in Dallas, and I congratulated him. I just said, look, you don't know who's either he or his developer. They've really refined those rules from the original sort of Zokbon RDM44 stuff, and I guess all the way back to The Legend Begins, but played so cleanly, and you read the rules once. There's less words in the rules now, and they're still clear and concise. And it's kind of a good model, I think, for other designers, which is one of the things I was trying to bring up with Jack Rady was, hey, look, you could be more concise with your how you describe and define a rule and Simonich is probably a great example of that. Reading that game was a lot of fun to play. Really enjoyed it.
And that would be a good intro into the 40X series.
Oh, I think so. I think it'd be a great intro for wargamers in general. I just if they played with another person, certainly, and if you were looking to try and get into a war game, it's only, I think they've got those rules down to less than 20 pages. I'd have to pull it out to check, but it's pretty tight.
I like that it's one map. Like that's just really
Yep.
nice.
Not a lot of counters.
Manageable footprint. Yeah.
Yeah, really good point, Tony. Yeah.
Yeah, Weekend
Well,
Hell is a
and-
fantastic one.
And
That's a lot of fun.
Enemy Actions Kharkov is nice because it's one map too.
Mhm.
That was one of the nicer. At least when I pulled it open, I'm like, oh, I don't need a whole freaking 8-foot table to play this game. I can play it on.
What's the scale?
half of-
What's the scale? What's the hex scale on that thing?
Ooh, I'll look it up.
I don't remember.
Couple
I
miles.
don't remember off the top of my head.
I will
What
look
was
it up.
Ardennes one map as well.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
They're all one mappers. And the other thing about Kharkov and Ardennes, the beautiful things about those two games is they're designed in a way that could be played. You get 3 games in one box, 2-player and solo for both sides. So you're not playing only solo US or only solo Soviet or German or whatever. You get to play every side, which I think is fantastic right there.
Hold on, I'm not trying to interject here, but people tossing in some good stuff that's
I
actually
know.
there. Blood Bowl and Gore Space. Freaking love them. Thank you. And
Carl at 43, I was curious.
Adding in some of the chat here, what their thoughts are on best game they played in 2022 so far. So Private Public has Blood Bowl. Mike has Core Space Firstborn.
I just finished the series
Sales,
on that.
Tarawa, 1943. Greg Amos is AMFS.
The Most Fearful Sacrifice.
Yeah, that's got such good result. Well done, Herman.
Richard says Enemy Action Kharkov.
Oh, there you go.
Right, O'Sullivan is the ASG. Got me back into the
No one's mentioned Third World War.
Even Mitchell doesn't mention it. Look, Nevsky. Not next war. Doesn't mention his own games. What's going on?
Red Storm by
He's tired of playing his own
Garrett.
game.
Some good games. Good
That's
games
a
there.
great game. That's such. Oh, that's a. Oh.
Burma. Yeah, I just was going through the chat to highlight some of the ones that our folks talked about.
D-Day at Iwo Jima. Yeah.
All right.
That's
Good
not the
luck.
best
Good
one
luck.
yet.
Good luck. You should have talked to us first, but good luck.
Yeah, could have saved you money.
No, I thought
what
they had
were you asking?
updated the
What-
rules.
What
I
scale
thought they
were you
fixed
asking?
it.
Size, time wise?
No,
They haven't fixed that one yet?
No.
His
Oh.
silence is deafening, shall we say?
Yeah, no.
I hate that.
They've been fixing the rules for 4 years, and yeah, that one really pissed me off, to be honest with you. It's like you don't diss
Again, another
diss on EWO.
I love that. I love that game. I'm colorblind, so I tried to video it, and it went tits up.
I
you
thought it
all
went
are-
good for you. I thought you were fine, Ruff.
Yeah,
I know it was extra work for you though.
Stress. I
Yeah.
have to re-look at the colors, look at my charts, look at this. It was, but when I play it on my own, it doesn't matter if I get the color wrong. Doesn't matter. Nobody's going to moan at me.
True.
But they're great games. See,
So
Butterfield
Kev,
game.
Kev, what were you asking? What size scale, like time or map scale?
I was just curious because Kharkov was a pretty big event. I was just curious about the
7.5
hex.
miles per hex.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's a
So
large
it's all at the sort of divisional scale and stuff
regiment,
like that, right?
brigades, and divisions. Yeah. Yeah.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I was just looking for the rules for Salerno, and it's 22 pages of rules, right? I mean, that's pretty tight.
I love
lots
that.
of
I love
lots of
the-
diagrams. And
Yeah, I love the one map for Salerno. I love how small that is. Like
Yeah.
it's not even a full map. It's like boom, put it out. One.
And I got the mounted map for that, and that fits in the box if you use
does it?
if you use Fuzzy bags for the counters, and don't go all posh with a counter tray. It will fit into the box with the mounted map.
Well,
Nice.
Mo's the reason why I have a stack of counter trays over here from Flying Buffalo Games.
No, Aegis.
Yeah, they're actually really nice. I like them a lot better than the GMT ones.
They're great. You get a lot more storage out of them.
Mhm. And I don't
just
mind
get all this
the-
free stuff. What is up with that?
Everybody got
I
set.
bought that. I bought those.
I didn't get them either there, Ruff.
Oh.
I'm right there with you.
Okay, that's terrible.
I need to be nicer to people and just start saying all sorts of nice
Stop
bullshit
being
about
so
games.
notorious.
You got to be more like rough. Every other word out of your mouth is, if you want to send it to me, please do.
No, it's not.
I've got
All right, so what are we looking forward to for the second half of 2022? I know Gimpy he's been waiting for Kharkov. He's been waiting and waiting. It's finally here.
I got some 15 mil terrain that I've been working on.
Can't get into it. No, I don't, because that's another rabbit hole. No way, miniatures. No.
Oh yeah.
I like painting with stuff for me fantasy stuff, but not
some black powder. Could try that out, and Flames of War, because of Mo's buddy, or my buddy now too, rather Nick.
Which one? Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, sent me all the Flames of War stuff, so I've got some buildings I'm working on that I'm going to use for black powder and Flames of War, because the building will work for both of them.
Stigler's doing a little self promotion here.
The Death Valley expansion.
Yeah, I've got that on the P500, because that's the only ACW I'm getting into.
What do you think, guys? Second half 2022. What are we looking forward to most?
Well, finally being able to settle down and not have to worry about moving houses. That would be nice.
Yeah. I'll be playing one mappers, smaller games. I don't have the room here. I'm literally sharing a dining room table, which is my office, the dining room table, and my gaming space. So I'm starting a lot of vassal games with folks, trying to get a bunch of games going that way. So I've got a handful started, but it'll be smaller things, and don't really have a list for the second half of the year. I had a big first half of the year, all things considered, I think. So
yeah, they're going to get that Friday night fights going.
A lot of good games that came out in the first half of the year. Pacific War, people couldn't. That was like the number one game going into the year. People couldn't wait.
NATO, Vietnam, North Africa for SCS. That's fantastic. I love that game. Oh, that came out kind of December, I think. I don't really know when that came out now. Salerno, lots of good stuff.
Third World War.
Yeah.
Big old box.
I got one scenario that in.
That's bonkers. I saw somebody at one of the conventions had the maps out. It took up like half the floor. It was
it's huge. Yeah. Huge. Eastern Front system, Barbarossa, right? That came out. Central Front. That was awesome. I played a little scenario out of that.
Central Front. That was just released, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was.
I did play Death Ride Curse at a con. And that was tough. What are you laughing at?
I was there.
Yeah.
I know you loved it. I know you did.
That juice was just not worth the squeeze, let me tell you.
Mr. President.
There was juice with that squeeze?
To look forward to later this year.
No, some people like those types of games, the ones you have to put a whole lot of thought and effort to really get into them. Sacred Oil's not much different in the amount of complexity that's involved with that one.
Death Ride Curse.
Yeah, but at least the rules are right. The Death Ride's got some issues, and it's got just setup issues and basic fundamental problems.
And that's a shame, isn't it? Because
it's like there's everyone I played with, we all said it's got such a great potential and it has such a huge opportunity to be awesome, but it's just let down by the artwork and the rules and the rules flow and the scenario setups. They're just fundamentally wrong, like wrong by 10 hexes, and you get the maps all set up on these dinky little 11 by 17 maps, and then you've got to change it all. It's like, there goes a day, right? So anyway, I love to hate that game. I've played probably enough of it, but I will wait.
Not to mention the cost. That one is that's expensive.
Ridiculous.
A basic game of it costs something like $250?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not cheap. Man, if it's got the issues like that, that's a lot of hurdles to.
You want to love it. It sounds like you really want to love it.
Yeah, when you get into it, there's all these really cool interplay and mechanics about Overwatch and opportunity fire and artillery and assaults and melee and shooting and all this stuff all comes together. It's super crunchy, making you think about how to approach an assault or a flanking maneuver that kind of sort of platoon battalion scale. It's pretty cool, but it all sort of falls apart.
Shame.
Sad. Yeah.
You get through like one turn of that, you could have got through half of a game of something else and felt more progress.
I could have played 4 turns of TCS because TCS rules are just rock solid. A word is a word and it means what it says, and it fits in with all the rest of the rules. Anyway.
Yeah, I hate those where it feels like when you're reading the rules that it can be read in one of a couple of different directions.
Right.
And you're like, all right, what did they really mean here? And I think some designers, when they're writing their rules, they forget that the people who are reading them don't understand the game like they understand it.
Well, that's a lack of development right there. And that's where a developer comes in and says, you know what, I'm reading it this way, but I can see it could be interpreted this way or even this way. Which way do you mean? And then
isn't that the most frustrating part?
Limit it down.
Isn't that, to be honest, when you get a game and the rule says blah, 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 and I read it one way, you read it another way, it's like, why couldn't they just added a couple more words in there to clarify what the hell they mean?
Right.
Well, that kind of gets to the conversation Kevin and I were having earlier, because then you could add a few more words or a few more tens of pages of words, and you have the NATO rule book, where it's very verbose, and you don't have those edge cases, but you have an 87-page rule book, versus a 35 or 40-page rule book.
That's 87 pages?
87 pages, yeah.
Oh, shit.
But you don't have any questions when you read that rule book.
But don't they have it set up well? If you play war games, read this, but then you don't have to read this.
They have the veteran summary that you can skim past.
Yeah, but the problem with that, Tony, is that you can read the veteran summary and you go, oh, I think I know what that means. And then you start playing and you're like, I better go read the rules to make sure I'm doing it right. So now you've read the summary, then you go back and read the rules. So you may as well just read the rules and skip the summary.
I gotcha.
Or you can watch the learn to play.
The idea is good, right?
Or you can watch the learn to play. Right?
Yeah. The idea is good, but I can see where that could be an issue.
It just didn't play out. I thought it was a very cool idea at first, but I was reading the rules because I was looking for a small scenario to play, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to not read the summary stuff and just read the rules.
Yeah, just jump into ball tap. That hits all of them for you. And it's small.
I didn't get it, but it's that level and that time period doesn't interest me. I like more of the tactical at that time period. That's where I'm getting interested in that. So
cool.
Well, Mo talked it up so much I had to get it.
I blame Mo for a lot of my purchases from Compass. So
Mo's a pimp.
Yeah.
Gotta pimp it. No, I love the game. I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to Air and Armor. So that one's going to be, I think, that one's going to be interesting for a lot of people, because when you have, not only are you playing against your opponent, you're having to find out if your guys are where they're supposed to be, which I think is kind of cool. So that adds a little bit of command confusion in there, because things are happening and there's a lot of friction. And that unit's supposed to be there, but are they? And I think that sort of thing is nice, because we have, and I've always complained about it, especially at tactical level, how one of the things that always has annoyed me is we have perfect information at tactical level. And even though my guys can't technically see the guy over there, I know he's there. That takes it away from me. Instead of saying, well, that's a potential avenue of approach, I need to watch that. I know, well, there is a guy there. I just can't see him yet. I'll just wait till he shoots, or I shoot him, or I spot him, and then I can shoot him, or I can toss him already in that area, and maybe to overflow will hit him or something like that. That I wish there was a way that they could hide that better. And that's where we didn't get to play Silver Bayonet at CSW, but that's one of the things I don't want to play CSW is play that, because that's one of those hidden movement games, and that's a lot of fun, especially if you can get an umpire game. That's a lot of fun.
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mo, I was going to ask you, while we're talking about Compass Games, what did you think about the Combat Exclamation Point Volume 2 being an expansion versus
it's a
standalone?
Yeah.
Combat Exclamation Volume 2.
No.
Yeah.
No, Combat itself is a great system. If you are looking for a solo tactical system, it's great. Now you add in Volume 2, and you have an insane amount of stuff in there. There's so much stuff in there that you could buy those two and you'll never need another tactical game. Solitaire tactical game. No, seriously, I mean, there's so much crap in there, and I mean, it's just so much content that you can generate new missions again and again, and campaigns that you'll have a lot that'll keep you busy for a long time.
You've sold me. Over here, we can only get Combat ! Volume 2. We're waiting on Volume 1.
They're reprinting Volume 1.
Can you have a word with them, please, Mo? And tell them
I will. I'm going to call Bill right now and say, "Hey, Bill, you got to send one to Dean right now."
Ruff is waiting on.
Ruff needs another free game.
I've got the money here. I'm just waiting for it.
Hey, wait a minute. That had colors on it. What's up with that?
Oh, this is our plastic. This is our plastic money.
They've got play money, remember?
Yeah, this is play money from the EU. It's plastic.
No, you guys got away from that EU crap, didn't you?
Yeah, but they still do it. They still this plastic money. You can put it in the washing machine. You can eat it, and it will come out the same.
Thanks for that bit of info.
Yeah, I've tried it. It's like sweet corn. So
I think that's too much information.
I'm waiting for this.
Yeah, they're reprinting them. So
yeah. I'm waiting for Combat 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Combat 1 is good. I really liked it. I just was a little butthurt that they made such an. I mean, that game retails for like $130.
I know.
I'm like, $130 for a expansion is a tough pill. You know, I really thought that one should have been standalone. Versus,
I know there's a lot in it. I know, but let me buy Volume 1, please.
But what in it makes it not standalone? That's
well,
what
it's
I'm
all
wondering.
just expansion materials, campaigns, and extra scenarios, stuff like that.
But it should have maps, right? It should have allied forces, US forces.
Maps as
but you're going to need the base counters.
You need all the base counters from Volume 1, and there's a ton.
Yeah, so that makes sense. So I'm fine with that, but I just think they're expensive. I think a lot of the Compass games are just because
they are expensive.
Well, a lot of that has to do with printing in the U.S. too, just like MMP. You know, theirs are a little pricey.
Yeah, but they do a lot of their printing overseas now. So I think their margins are probably better.
MMP does all their printing overseas?
No. No. Compass does more of their printing.
They're doing like the stuff that is what do you call it? Madden Maps, things like that. Those are printed in China. The rest of them are printed here.
Well, I just think for
kind of
value,
too.
Like all the Greg games, right? The Sensui Khan, the Tank Ace, those types. They've got a bunch of those that are getting ready to come out, or they're on pre-order. There's what are they? 59 for pre-order, somewhere roughly around
something
there.
Like that, yeah.
I think that's a perfect value for the game, right? But it was more than double that for Combat 2, and I was like, come on, that should be standalone for that price. You're asking too much on that one. That one really burned me. I thought it should have been standalone. I'm not saying the game's bad. The game itself is great, and I've got Combat 1, right? It's just for the expansion. I'm like, the $60-$70, okay. 130. I mean, how much are you giving me in the expansion? Am I going to get 130?
How much did you spend in Kharkov? Well, okay,
you got that free.
You get it for free. Right? I mean, the normal price on Kharkov is $130 too.
Yeah, something like that.
Well,
so when you compare value, Kharkov versus Combat Explanation Point, I mean,
Kharkov's got a lot more value.
You think Kharkov would have more value?
It's
three games.
That's three games in one.
Yeah.
You've got the solo German, you've got the solo Russian, and then you've got the heads up. So for me, it's 2 games because I'm only going to play it solitaire. But that's effectively 2 games in one. So I forget what that retailed for, 80 or 90, somewhere around there. So even if you just count it as 2 games for me, that's roughly $45 a piece.
It's 125. Kharkov.
Well, that's the MSRP now.
I
pre-order price.
It was 100. It was like 90 or 100. Yeah.
It was 100.
I'll tell you what. When it comes to pre-orders, speaking of pre-orders, MMP actually got smart on a lot of their pre-orders. They have like the early one that's really discounted, and then the standard pre-ordered, which is still discounted, but not as much. I like that idea. I think more companies should go that route. I know you were bitching about that, Kev, about seriously these pre-orders, and then I can get it for close. But yeah, I like the early bird pre-order stuff.
The problem with that is for over here, you've got to.
Oh, we don't care about you.
You've got shut up. You've got to order. You've got to. We take a third of your bloody sales. Just shut up. You've got to order $150 worth of games before you get a discounted sort of shipping thing. You know,
sucks to be you.
How does that work for you? Right. So the tax that gets added when it arrives to you, how much do you have to pay to actually take that box from the post office?
It doesn't.
You pay, right? Value added tax, the VAT thing.
I pay it when somebody sends me games. And I was grateful
when I get all these free games.
Just to send me some games, and before it turned up, I got a letter from the post office saying, you owe us 60 quid for VAT and things. So I had to pay that. But when I order, say, for GMT, the P500, because it's sent not to me, it's sent to a forwarder in the UK, Second Chance Games, I don't pay the VAT on it. I've paid the postage and that's it. But the problem is, if I order something from Compass, it's going to cost me an arm and a leg in the postage, plus possibly, because they're sending it to me, not to a forwarder, the VAT as well. So it's just not worth it.
What about
that's what I'm asking?
Chance?
How much? Yeah, how much is that VAT?
20%,
like, roughly.
20%.
20%.
Yeah.
Good God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
See, this is why we shot you guys in the Revolutionary War. You should try that again.
Well, we did try and tax you, and you said,
"Yeah, bang bang."
Yeah, so, that's what the VAT on the T is what led to all.
Yeah. And you went, "We don't mind paying it as long as you can give us representation and we get a say in what goes." No, just pay it. So it's all coming back to us to haunt us. Yeah, you're quite right.
What about Second Chance Games? You know, what if you get them through there? You buy the game through there.
GMT send to Second Chance Games, so I don't.
Yeah, or Compass.
Well,
doesn't Compass do a Second Chance?
Yeah, but they send them across, and I'm paying. I think for combat ! It's about 150 quid, which is about $190 or something. So it's let me just. Yeah, I'll just check on that for you.
I was going to say, is that what they're charging?
In case I'm saying a load of old nonsense.
It's $120 pre-order, US dollars.
Yeah.
It's $120 US pre-order. So you should be paying something like 80 quid.
So I'm paying 140 quid for Combat 1 if I want it. Which,
so 60
from Second Chance.
Of what?
From Second Chance. So you're looking at about 100.
So they're passing on the VAT to you.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
You're still paying it.
Yeah.
That sucks, dude.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
£60, that's 50% tax.
Yes, but when I order from GMT, I don't pay that. I pay the P500 price plus the postage, which is quite steep. It's about $30. But I don't pay anything else. That's
and now you know
and they're
why.
both ordered through.
Every other word. If you want to send it to me, please do.
No.
And they're both sent through Second Chance Games?
No, if you do, don't put how much it's worth on the box.
It's worth $1. Put it in $1.
That's what I was going to ask. Because
$1
I've sent
million.
I've sent giveaways over to the UK before, and they were asking me, how much are these items worth? And I'm like, why are you asking me this? All right, so if I put $1, that's not going to hit you guys, or are they going to?
They might go
come after me, come after y'all, or does that slide through?
Yeah, but if you want to insure it, you have to put how much it's worth.
Right.
And that's where they get you.
When I ship games overseas, I usually put its maps, documentation, and cardboard sheets, and I say it's worth $20. And I don't say that it's a game, because you say game, then people they have a different perception of what it is.
Yeah, what's the retail value?
That's a good idea, Kev. That's really good.
Yeah, I mean, why should these guys get stuck by some little dweeb with these little glasses and pointy little
You're sending a gift. You're sending a gift.
Sucking tax out of it.
Yeah, you're sending a gift. It shouldn't be taxed. Yeah.
But governments, that's what they want.
Of course,
That's
they.
crazy.
Hey, we got to dip into the pocket.
God bless socialist democracies, right?
Yeah, God bless them. But yeah, it is a pain. But some of you are getting it because you're ordering stuff from Europe. There's some European game manufacturers. So when you're ordering from them direct, you're getting what we get. Yeah, you're getting 30, 40.
Well, but you know what? Not Vento Nuovo. Vento Nuovo does it as well. But Thin Red Line Games, they ship all their games are now shipped to Dallas. Shipped out of Dallas, and I'm paying $10 to get whatever the next game is.
VUCA
Northern Lights.
VUCA does the same thing as well. VUCA, because I ordered the Frederick the Great game, and it came out of Dallas. I paid internationally for it, but it came out of Dallas. I was like, well,
if they use a fulfiller, they get around the tax thing because they're not sending it to you. They're not sending it to the UK. They're sending it to a fulfiller in the UK, which is a different thing. And then they're shipping it out. So it's being shipped to you from the UK. So you're exempt from that because it's already in the UK. And then it's shipped. It's just a nightmare. It really is.
Yeah. You guys screwed up my filming. The EU did, rather, because I was trying to get a camera here, and the different types of cameras can only film steady for, I think it's 30 minutes. And if they film longer than that, they change categories to camcorder, which has different tax brackets. So the cameras that I can buy, they have like an automatic shutoff of 30 minutes. That's why I got a GoPro instead, because I was so pissed off when I first got a camera that kept shutting off in the middle of filming. Right?
Now you say EU, we're obviously not part of the EU anymore, or are we? It's some things. It still feels like we're part of the EU. But yeah, it's the VAT was an EU tax that was implemented by the EU. So you'd think when we left the EU,
you wouldn't have it.
VAT. No, the government are going, oh, lovely. No, we'll keep that one.
Yeah, they're not very good at cutting taxes. Don't worry, they don't do that here either.
Like the great philosopher Malcolm Reynolds once said, governments exist to get in the man's way.
Yeah.
So.
I love that, man. Best show ever.
Time out. No politics. Let's go. Come on.
No. Firefly.
No, he's talking about Firefly. Show.
I know. Whatever. So it's all the same.
But it's true.
Best show that ever existed.
Yeah.
Really?
When's the next actual Whiskey Charlie show? Have you guys
Tuesday night
scheduled? Tuesday.
Yeah,
coming
back
Tuesday.
Back in action this Tuesday.
Yeah, there's really ugly guys joining us. No,
special
ugly
guest Herman Lutman.
Oh,
really?
Wow.
Come on, jeez.
We're going to take him to task over all the errata and all these crappy maps. And there's some Gettysburg game he came out.
Yeah, I don't know what have you guys heard about it? Have you guys done any coverage on it?
Yeah. No, nobody's done. No, sorry,
I've never heard of it.
Make sure you got your bifocals ready to go. You're going to need it for those player aids, man. 4.5.
I actually pointed that out in my unboxing. I'm like,
they have redone them though, haven't they?
And then Herman's like, you know what? They're bigger. You can print them off. I'm like, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, Herman actually sent a copy of them to our Facebook group, so you can join the Facebook group and download the updated errata sheets. And they're fixed and working perfectly now. So
yeah,
I'm not hating on Herman. It's not his fault.
No, well, when I had gotten the prototype, that was the only thing that gave me pause. But I said, well, this is a prototype. Everything else looks perfect. I'm sure the player aids will be redone when it goes to print. And unfortunately, that was the same files that were used. So, shots fired.
Oh,
boom. And we will also be talking about
Herman Lutman off our guest lists.
We'll also be talking about errata and how it happens. So I'm sure that Jester will be happy with that.
For that, for sure.
Errata happens because people are human.
Exactly. But Jester has the opinion that wargames should never have errata.
No excuse. Everyone makes mistakes.
Come on, you've never made a mistake.
Yeah, but
everyone does.
8 years ago, sure, but
Everyone
game I
makes
had
mistakes.
to download 9 pages of errata. 9 pages.
That's not a mistake. That's gross negligence. There's
go.
a difference. Right? You get a page, a few things. Hey, we had a misprint here, misprint there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No problem. That's fine.
Yeah,
It's how
yeah.
a company handles it. And I've always said that mistakes happen, but what does the company do to correct that? And Compass Games is one of the best. I always talk them up on this because plenty of times they've had a mistake with a counter or cards or something like that. And then later on in the mail, I get new components automatically sent to me to correct whatever.
Companies do that?
You don't have to pay for it?
No.
No.
They just sent the stuff to me, the new cards, new counters, whatever it was. Actually, I just got them. Wasn't it for NATO? They
did for NATO and Third World War. They just sending them out.
Yep.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that while people give GMT a lot of credit for customer service, that they certainly do a lot. Compass does a lot better than GMT because most of the time, it's go buy the C3I $40 magazine to get the errata counters. But when the mistake is big enough and the issues are significant enough and the people complain enough, they will reissue and redo counters like they did for, like, I think Macedonian Art of War. I think that was a huge cluster, and they redid the counters for everybody for that, and or the box or something. I think it was the counters, actually. I think because I've got 2 sets of counters for that game. So they will fix it, but not all the time.
Yeah, but Compass has a habit of doing that.
Yeah,
which is
I
appreciated.
think Compass do a great job. Yeah, Compass do a great job of it.
No, I'm not saying
others-
their games are so messed up that they're constantly doing it, but the occasion they do have a counter that's messed up, you can expect to get it in the mail.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and the NATO errata counters, for example, were more had the wrong front on one and stuff like that. It wasn't like they were broken counters. They were just there were minor changes that were just like, this is to make it perfect. This is to polish it up the rest of the way, to get the right band on it, things like that. I played without, with the original counters, didn't bother me. The errata counters would be nice to have. Same for Third World War. It's nice to have the errata counters, but it doesn't break anything.
Yeah.
It's when it comes to errata now, correcting the font size on a play rate is not technically errata, but I kind of put it all under the same umbrella because it's support for a game. So it's like there was a mistake. Right. Yeah, it's a production issue. So there was a mistake made, and then they're able to correct it. Things like play rates are not as big of a deal because something with a font size, you can just throw the PDF up online. Somebody can throw it out on their card stock and print it themselves. It's not really a big deal. The counters can be a little bit more problematic. That's where you want to at least get some stickers out there for people to print those out to, especially if the values are different and it's hard to fix with a marker or with a pen. But really it's just the perceived attitude of the company towards the customer, I think, is the big key. And you want to make sure that, if I'm dropping $40, $50, $100 on a game and there's a bunch of screw ups, don't say, yeah, we're sorry about that. You can buy a $40 magazine to fix it, or you can get the second printing, which is coming out next year. That will turn me off. And you have to show some support, because if you do that, then you're going to build that customer loyalty.
Absolutely. Well, great discussion. Thank you guys for showing up today. I appreciate you guys all coming out.
Yeah.
CP, Kev, Mo.
Yeah, thank you.
Make sure you go check out their channels, YouTube channels. Make sure you subscribe. Whiskey Charlie is Tuesday at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time, I believe.
Yep.
And then
Eastern
7 Central Time.
7 Central.
All right. And you're going to have the awesome Herman Lutman on this week. So we'll be looking forward to checking that out, talking to Rada, of course. Oh, hi, sweetie. How you doing?
You want to wave? Say hi.
Hi, yeah.
Hey.
She's having a shy moment.
Are you sure that's your daughter, Gimpy? She's far too beautiful.
Yeah, she takes after mommy.
Enough said.
Well,
still got to work on my football team.
Yeah, still working on the football team. Well, everyone, thanks for coming out for another week. We do appreciate all the fine comments and all the fine guests we had in the chat, and always great discussion. Of course, Gippy, Kev, and Mo, thanks very, very much. I know we've had you on individually, and we decided to get you all on at the same time. And it turned out nobody killed one another, so it worked out pretty good, I think.
And
Oh, we were on a time crunch for that. Damn.
Yeah.
You didn't have to pull out the mute everybody either, too. So
Get
that-
that remote going.
I'm sure there'll be a few sections of the video people will fast forward through, but all in all, not bad. Not bad. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for showing up. We'll see you all
thanks,
next
guys.
week, same time, same channel. Next week, we don't have anyone scheduled yet. We're working on maybe either having Mitch Lamb coming, or because of my surgery, we missed our show with the Aussie.
Nathan's not Wise Guy's
Wise
Nathan.
Guy.
Sorry, I couldn't think of his name.
Kev's
We
not an
missed the
Aussie
show.
anymore. He's a Texan.
We missed the show because of my surgery with him, so I'm going to try and get him rescheduled. So hopefully he can come on sometime. and
He's
talk.
playing foul blow at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of good stuff
Good
there.
game.
So I appreciate you guys. We love you all. There's nothing you can do about
Ciao.
it.
That's right.
Thanks for coming. See ya, Whiskey Charlie on Tuesday night.
Tuesday.
Take care,
See you
guys.
guys. Thanks.
See ya.